You don't simply leave pollen outside. You carry it home, on clothing, in your hair, across your skin. It settles into bedding, furniture, curtains. It rides back in it on laundry dried in the spring air. Tonight, you may sleep inches from the very thing worsening your symptoms. But long before anyone sold a specialized product for this, families had quieter, forgotten ways of keeping the outdoors from following them to bed. The difficulty begins with scale. At an average diameter of just 25 micrometers, roughly the thickness of a single strand of hair, pollen grains are entirely invisible as they drift through the air. These microscopic particles are light enough to travel miles on a gentle wind, easily crossing thresholds through open doors and windows. Yet outdoor air is only one pathway. Pollen acts like an invisible adhesive, clinging to shoes, coats, pet fur, skin, and hair during any brief trip outside. Once carried indoors, it settles silently onto soft furnishings, carpets, curtains, and bedding. A bedroom can look spotless and tidy, yet remain blanketed in a layer of unseen irritants that stay active on fabrics for over a week. This makes the sleeping room a quiet source of prolonged exposure. During the day, we might escape the high outdoor counts, but at night, we lie still for hours, with our faces pressed close to these contaminated fabrics. The room intended for rest and physical recovery quietly keeps the body's immune system on high alert, causing symptoms to continue long after the sun has set. Stopping this invisible migration begins at the front door, treating the entryway as a boundary between the outdoor world and the home. An old, practical rhythm holds the key. Removing shoes immediately upon arrival prevents microscopic grains from being ground into hallway carpets and carried deeper into living spaces. Changing out of outdoor clothing soon after returning home keeps pollen from shedding onto chairs and sofas, where it can linger for days. Keeping these worn garments completely out of the bedroom prevents them from seeding the sleeping area. Before settling in, a simple wash of the hands and face sweeps away particles clinging to the skin. This threshold routine acts as a protective barrier, keeping the outdoor world from settling where we rest. The skin and hair serve as the final intimate resting place for these invisible particles. Throughout the day, thousands of microscopic pollen grains catch in the eyelashes, settle on the brow, and weave deep into the strands of hair. Leaving these particles untouched means transferring them directly to the pillowcase, where they are inhaled repeatedly for 8 hours. A gentle evening wash acts as a quiet boundary before sleep. Rinsing the face or taking a warm shower after a long day outdoors sweeps away the day's accumulation. Washing or even simply rinsing the hair before getting into bed keeps the pillow cleaner, preventing a localized cloud of pollen from forming around the face. Slipping into fresh, clean nightwear completes this domestic reset, ensuring that the peaceful hours of the night remain entirely separate from the invisible currents of the daytime world. Protecting the sleeping area requires establishing it as a sanctuary rather than a battlefield. Many of us might remember a grandfather or a neighbor who always left his heavy tweed jacket hanging on a wooden peg right by the front door, never carrying it past the threshold. This quiet, old-fashioned discipline kept the dust of the outdoor world from drifting deeper into the home. Within the bedroom, this logic dictates that daytime clothing never touches the bed. Pillowcases, sitting directly in the breathing zone, require changing every few days to prevent microscopic accumulation near the face. When cleaning, a damp cloth is far superior to a dry duster, which merely throws settled particles back into the air where they can be inhaled. Keeping windows firmly shut during high pollen hours stops the initial intrusion, while keeping outdoor pets off the blankets prevents them from depositing hitchhiking allergens. Resisting the urge to shake out blankets or fabrics indoors keeps these tiny particles from rising into the air again, preserving the bedroom as a clean space for rest. While securing the physical space of the home offers a necessary shield, direct relief often requires addressing the primary point of entry, the nasal passages. This is where an old-fashioned, low-cost practice brings supportive comfort. A saline nasal rinse acts as a physical sweep, washing microscopic pollen grains out of the nose after outdoor exposure. Dating back to traditional cleansing routines and formalized in early 20th century medical guides, this method is designed to clear trapped particles before they trigger an inflammatory response. But safety must come first. Medical authorities, including the CDC, warn that water safety is key. Tap water must never be used unless it has been boiled and cooled, as untreated water can carry rare but severe pathogens. Only correctly prepared saline solutions used in sterilized devices according to trusted medical instructions should be introduced. This practice is entirely non-pharmacological and supportive rather than curative, meant to ease symptoms and support comfort rather than replace prescribed treatments. By clearing the breathing passage directly, it provides a final practical layer of defense. A second physical defense targets the very entrance of the breath, intercepting particles before they can settle. This method, often referred to as a nose line in older household guides, relies on a simple, drug-free barrier. Applying a very thin layer of a suitable barrier ointment, such as plain petroleum jelly, around the outer rim of the nostrils helps trap drifting pollen grains before they are inhaled. The ointment works through physical capture. Its sticky surface acts like a microfilter at the doorway of the nose, holding the microscopic particles in place. For safety, the ointment must only be applied lightly around the immediate entrance. It should never be placed deep inside the nasal cavity, as this can lead to irritation. This inexpensive practical step serves as a supportive measure to reduce daily exposure. It is not a cure for hay fever, and it does not replace medical treatments. Instead, this simple habit offers an extra layer of quiet comfort for the breathing passages. The clean scent of line-dried laundry is one of the quiet pleasures of spring, yet it carries an invisible tax. When sheets, blankets, and clothing hang outdoors during peak pollen season, the damp woven fibers act as a highly effective trap. Microscopic grains settle deep into the fabric, turning freshly washed items into active carriers. Bedding requires particular care, because these fabrics remain pressed against the face for hours during sleep. Indoor drying becomes a far more practical choice on high pollen days. Bringing clothes inside to dry preserves their cleanliness, keeping the outdoor world truly separate. Before stepping outside, a simple, old-fashioned face shield offers immediate defense. Wearing wide sunglasses and a brimmed hat physically blocks drifting pollen from settling around the eyes and face. On high-count days, keeping the hair covered prevents microscopic grains from nesting in the strands, where they would later transfer to the pillow. Above all, avoiding the urge to rub irritated eyes keeps trapped particles from being ground into the skin. This routine offers physical protection rather than a reason to avoid the outdoors entirely, intercepting pollen before it ever reaches the home. Ultimately, real relief comes from these steady protective habits rather than a single miracle remedy. Do you remember any of these old-fashioned tricks being used by your parents or grandparents? Subscribe to the channel for more practical ways to keep your home comfortable. Bringing these historical habits together creates a simple, daily rhythm. The morning begins with a quick outward check, applying a thin barrier of ointment and wearing a brimmed hat before stepping outside. Returning home triggers a reset, leaving shoes at the door, changing out of outdoor clothing, and wiping down pet paws. Finally, the night sequence focuses on washing the hair and face to keep the pillowcase clean. While this layered routine can lower exposure and ease symptoms, it is not a cure. Many will still require antihistamines or nasal sprays, and severe or breathing-related symptoms always require a doctor's assessment. True comfort at home rarely comes from expensive modern cures, but from the quiet daily routines we once took for granted. Do you remember any old-fashioned pollen tricks your parents or grandparents used to protect the house? Subscribe for more stories.